Good morning. Please make your way to your seats. Please kindly make your way to your seats. And do not be shy. Come up front. We have some seats up front. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are about to get started. Good morning and welcome to the 11th Annual JWB Children's Summit and For the Love of Kids. I would love to have Ms. April Lott stand up because she understood the assignment today. Stand up, April. Yes. And so I get a pass because I'm still displaced and I'm living out of tubs. And so I'm just lucky to have this outfit on. But April, you are me, okay? So April wore my outfit. My name is Patrice Moore, and I'm chair of the Juvenile Welfare Board. As we get started, it's my pleasure to invite St. Pete College President Dr. Tanja Williams to the podium for a warm host welcome.
Good morning to all the children lovers sitting down this morning on Valentine's Day. You know, this is an appropriate day for us to have this event because it's all about love. It's all about the love for our children, for the families that we serve, and for our community. And so April might have the outfit on, but we all love JWB, okay? That's right. Good job, April. I just want to say today is a day to celebrate love. Love isn't just about words. It's about action. It's about commitment. And it's about the care that we pour into others each and every day. It's about loving the skin we're in and loving the people we're serving. And today we're talking about our children. They are our future. And if we can't show them love, we won't get love when we get old. That's just what happens. At the Juvenile Welfare Board, we know that when we invest in the well-being of our youth, we are unlocking opportunities of hope that will have a generational impact. We know that the work we do will change the lives of families. Your dedication and compassion towards this work is the heart of the mission of each one of your organizations and the groups that you lead. It's all about for the love of children. I really want to say that we need to make sure that today is a reminder of that love, the driving force behind the change that we're trying to make. Those moments that you don't feel like you can get up and make another day. Those times when folks say, girl, why you still doing that? Those instances where you have such a tough case with a child and you want to be there and stand in the gap. Keep standing, keep showing up, keep working, keep advocating, keep supporting, and make sure you carry JWB with you. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Again, it is for the love of community, for the love of you, for the love of me, for the love of families. For nearly 80 years, JWB has had a heart for kids and made life-changing investments in Pinellas County's children to improve their circumstances and maximize their potential. So it's appropriate that on Valentine's Day, we've gathered our top leaders who share our concern and care for our county's children. I've often heard Beth say that in our county, children represent only 16% of our total population. But I can tell you from my years serving as a unified family court judge for the 6th Judicial Circuit, they are 100% of our future. They will be our leaders and our caregivers. I'll say it again, they will be our leaders and our caregivers. They will teach children in our schools and lead our colleges like Pinellas County born and raised Dr. Tanja Williams. They will treat and heal our loved ones, respond to our emergencies, and keep our neighborhoods safe. They will serve in our local governments and courts like me. And who they become is a result of the concern and care, the support and guidance that they experience from all of us gathered here today. So give yourselves a round of applause. In the words of the late Bob Dillinger, we are the hope. JWB's mission is to invest in partnership, innovation, and advocacy to strengthen their lives and those of their families. We do this by making data-driven decisions and smart investments so that children are ready to learn, thrive, and succeed in homes, schools, and neighborhoods that are healthy and safe. No one understands this better than my colleagues on the JWB board. Please stand as I call your name. Division Chief Jim Milligan, our board vice chair. Ms. Kristen Nage, Mr. Kevin Hendrick, Pinellas County School Boards and Superintendent. The Honorable Chris Latvala, Pinellas County Commissioner. Mr. Michael McCurrack, Ms. Kristen Nage, and Ms. Melissa Rutland. Those who were unable to join us today are Mr. Brian Unks Jr. and the Honorable Bruce Bartlett, Pinellas County State Attorney. Is Ms. Malo here? Because I did forget our elected public defender. She was unable to attend as well. It is a pleasure to serve with you on JWB board, and I thank you for your service to kids. Our JWB leadership team, leaders from JWB's Mid, South, and North Community Councils, and legacy members of our JWB board are also in the house. As a group, please wave or stand and thank you for carrying out our mission as well. I will also like to acknowledge our elected officials and dignitaries as a group. Please hold your applause until the end. With us today are legislators or their dignitaries, Pinellas County Commissioners, school board officials, and county and city officials. If you would please stand and or raise your hand so that we can give you a warm welcome. JWB's funded program served nearly 80,000 children and families last year, and the exact number is actually 77,384. Would the leaders of these quality programs please stand or wave? plus dozens of organizations partner with our initiatives, campaigns, and or our collective impact. JWB partners, please wave and or stand. Just look around you. That's a powerful image of core truth. Whether we're meeting Pinellas County children and their families in their homes, schools, neighborhoods, or communities, we simply cannot do this work alone. So we thank you for all that you do. Our funded agencies and partners are the heartbeat behind JWB, and you'll learn more about their work and impact in strengthening children's lives as we go through this morning's program. Thank you for joining us to support Pinellas families, strengthening our communities, and nurturing our children. We appreciate everything you do for the love of kids. From my seat on the bench, I can tell you that nothing makes my heart more happy than to see children turn around. Parents unified with their children, and families stabilized and back on the right track. What really makes my heart sing are the children I never see that come into our courtroom because they've been nurtured early in their lives. And they've made connections with caring adults, and they receive the love that is much needed. And when screenings, early intervention, supports, and services are needed, these families have been able to access them. Thank you, JWB. At this time, I would like to introduce Ms. Beth Houghton, Chief Executive Officer and our passionate advocate for children. Welcome.
Thank you, Judge Moore. The Juvenile Welfare Board has been part of the fabric of this community for nearly 80 years, 8 decades, which is hard to imagine. When Tanja heard that, she said, "You mean it was here when I was a kid?" I said, "Yep, yes, it was." And we've been investing in partnerships, innovation, and advocacy to strengthen the lives of children and families in our county. JWB represents love in action. But as Judge Moore reminded us all, we do not act alone. So I'd like to say a special thanks to JWB providers and partners that are with us today. We've asked you to wave and wave again, just because. So look at all these folks. So that means day by day, hour by hour, all the folks you just saw raise their hands, they or their folks are with children, are with families, sharing respect and dignity and love and tangible resources and things that they need then. There are days that are glorious when a couple things fall into place and they know they've made a huge difference. And there are days that are frustrating because nothing seems to be enough to do the work that needs to be done or get the result that you want to get. So we thank you not only for your many talents, but for your dedication and your commitment, even when the going gets really tough. As we reflect on JWB's work and impact this last year, my heart is full knowing that the work that we all do truly matters and that I get to lead an organization that cares so much about children and about their future. It's plain to see our theme for the love of kids displayed in many forms last year. We grew our investments by funding 12 new programs that align with our strategic plan, and we expanded our funded programs in response to mostly increasing costs that they're experiencing, particularly things like salaries and things like insurance. For them to do the same work that they'd done the year before, it just cost more. Governments don't usually do that, by the way. The typical, I may offend somebody, but anyway. Is to say you saw 1,000 kids last year, and we want you to see 1,200 kids next year, and we're going to pay you exactly the same amount. Right. And we're not perfect as funders, and we can be aggravating to you from time to time because we're really big on accountability. But we do recognize that to get the work done, we have to hire the right people, and the right people do take some money. And we try to meet that where it is and do the best we can. So some of the other things we did, we scaled up our campaigns, the Sleep Baby Safely campaign, and in particular the Turbo Babies campaign that is just exploding across our community to not teach, but just embrace parents with the knowledge and some of the tools that are easy for them to use as their children's first and best teachers. We also, as we were watching the number of homeless families grow and grow, mid-year we were able to add some money in one case and sort of restart a program that had existed in a rapid rehousing programs, which are evidence-based, designed to help people experiencing homelessness quickly reconnect to permanent housing and then get the services of all types that they need, but not make them graduate from a program before they can have a home and apartment that is theirs and their family can begin to feel stable. We also responded quickly to meet emergent needs in situations where funding streams ended, like with our domestic violence partners, shelters and related services. And of course, in the aftermath, this will be more next year, we'll talk about it, but in the aftermath of back-to-back hurricanes, when families needed immediate relief and assistance, the response from so many of you was not surprising, really, given who you are, but was absolutely amazing. And where we could, we backed that up or made the phone calls to connect whoever needed to be connected. And I see many heroes in this room who made things happen very quickly so that our children could get what they need, could get back to school, for instance. And we maximized our partnerships for better outcomes for kids. While that's not unique to last fiscal year, I would say that it was the breadth and strength of our partnerships that enabled us to do the first two, to increase our investments and impact and to respond in real time during crises or in unexpected circumstances. All of this, we do all of this because it equates to better outcomes for our kids. At this time, let's dim the lights for a look back on the work and the accomplishments of JWB and our partners last year.
For nearly 80 years, the Juvenile Welfare Board has had a heart for kids, safeguarding their rights and needs, and investing to give them the best opportunities to fulfill their potential and lead meaningful, purposeful lives. JWB and our partners are passionate about children, both because they are the innocent who cannot control their circumstances, and because, as a society, improving children's lives today and into the future is simply a smart investment. As we reflect on our impact last year, it's clear that children are the heart of our work. We grew our investments to expand our reach and to meet families where they are, responded rapidly to address emergent needs, and maximized our partnerships for better outcomes for kids.
Last year, JWB invested $110 million in 98 quality programs with 51 nonprofits that strengthened the lives of more than 77,000 children and families. Plus, tens of thousands more benefited from JWB campaigns and initiatives. The impact of these investments was huge. 9,000 parents received brain-building bags to keep babies on track. Plus, thousands more visited our new Turbo Babies exhibit. 14,000 books went to parents from Reach Out and Read Pediatrics. And JWB's newest Quality Early Learning Center opened in Clearwater to serve working families and their babies. JWB's School Success Youth showed promise on Florida's standardized assessment, with scores trending up for both math and English language arts. 6,500 families were reminded that kindergarten counts for early school attendance. And our grade-level reading campaign gave away 16,000 books to kids, thanks to VIP volunteers aboard our summer book bus. Our Children's Mental Health Initiative served record numbers last year. 17,000 children were screened, resulting in 7,700 behavioral health visits within pediatric practices. 850 families received real-time assistance from JWB's Family Services Initiative. 4,000 fathers were given materials and a voice through our Fatherhood Collaborative. 6,000 new parents were educated on infant-safe sleep at delivery hospitals. 3,000 kids received free swim lessons. Plus, 98% of parents receiving in-home supports were free of abuse or neglect during and after services. JWB and our childhood hunger partners provided 6 million meals to kids, filling food gaps and stocking pantries across the county. Our 3 community councils and staff partnered on family-centered activities, released new funds that supported a dozen community events, and hosted 3 Grand Families events, reaching over 500 grandparents with resources. Plus, JWB's Youth Leadership Committee led a project to create and deliver meal prep kits to teens. Our organization and staff were spotlighted last year for numerous awards. The GFOA designation for Outstanding Accounting Practices for the 5th year in a row, the Bell Seal Award for Workforce Mental Health, a Best Place to Work by the Tampa Bay Business Journal, and multiple staff accolades, including JWB's CEO being named a Boss for Babies for her leadership in the 0 to 3 space. JWB hired 8 new staff last year, including a new Chief Financial Officer, implemented new internal processes for efficiencies and a comprehensive streamlined data system called JWB Flex, celebrated our JWB staff, plus we secured a new stockroom, van, and staff member to support outreach efforts. We continue to offer meaningful training opportunities for JWB staff and providers, including last year's Rockin' Out of School Time Conference. Our Children's Summit gathered local leaders around the impact of social media on youth well-being, and a standing room only crowd celebrated 4 Kids First winners, Spence Scholarship recipients, plus
Carol Cook, you can add the 2024 Dillinger McCabe Putting Children's First on this list. Congratulations.
JWB approved more than $14 million in new program investments last year, including $3.5 million for 12 new programs aligned with our strategic plan, $2.6 million for capital improvements to funded programs, investments to grow JWB's campaigns and initiatives, plus program increases to expand services, target critical needs, and address funding losses.
As the chair of the board, I'm most proud of the actions that we've taken this year. As a board member, we stress putting today's money for today's children. As a judge, I am most proud that JWB has invested in grand families. It keeps kids out of my courtroom, but it also gives the grandparents the services that they need to make sure that their grandchildren and great-grandchildren are cared for in the community.
JWB stepped in when federal funding cuts threatened access to life-saving domestic violence and family legal aid programs, and to meet critical needs like family homelessness with targeted investments in rapid rehousing, a best practice intervention designed to quickly move families into permanent housing first. Last year, JWB invested in Directions for Living and the Society of St. Vincent de Paul to deliver this model, which has reduced the number of families on a list for housing services from more than 100 to less than 30.
To do the best practices in this really took a lot of courage of the leadership and the governance of the Juvenile Welfare Board. Our goal is to provide them the services that they need for only the amount of time that they need those services. We as an organization don't just provide services. We inject love and we inject hope into a world of hopelessness.
JWB responded in big ways to emergent needs of families last year. Over summer, when pandemic-related nutrition benefits ended, JWB and our partners hosted 6 mobile pantries, providing 2,000 families with over 80,000 pounds of food. Then, in the aftermath of back-to-back hurricanes, JWB's response was swift and highly effective, thanks to existing partnerships and the flexible funding and support of our board. This included an allocation of up to $500,000 for hurricane relief. Efforts included infant items like car seats, diapers, and pack-and-plays, gap funding for programs that sustain damages, family services initiatives scale up to meet basic needs, a drive-through food distribution serving 400 families, and JWB connected community needs to our funded agencies, like the 500 residents of the Standard Apartments.
The Maddie Williams Center was called to an apartment complex that had been completely flooded in the storm. And when we arrived, all of those families were out in the elements, no food, no shelter, no water. They had lost everything. And it made a huge difference to see the Juvenile Welfare Board there in person, the chief executive officer there, senior leadership there on the ground.
The hurricanes also left 2 Pinellas County schools unusable.
We had to get our students back in school as quickly as possible, back to some sense of normalcy. JWB stepped up and worked with out-of-school time providers to provide additional care as we had to shift school schedules, and it was in this year of difficult times that JWB was right there with us, shoulder to shoulder, helping our children, our families, and our community rebound.
JWB leads the way in strengthening the lives of our county's children. But we couldn't do it without our countless partnerships. Experts from area hospitals and pediatric practices helped inform our work and support our campaigns and initiatives. We also enjoyed strong partnerships with institutions of higher learning. Since 2018, JWB has invested in 450 scholarships with St. Petersburg College, 72 last year alone.
St. Petersburg College and the Juvenile Welfare Board, affectionately known as JWB, are like family. And I am so proud of the college's longstanding partnership with JWB. In particular, the impact we are making to advance our community's Early Childhood Educators program is second to none. Research has consistently shown that the formative years, birth to age 3, are critical for a child's overall development and success. We are grateful to be able to offer scholarships that lift up individuals and allow them to continue to work in the child care field while earning their degrees. Together, we are creating better jobs, students are living better lives, and we are building better communities.
Congratulations to Pinellas County Schools for their historic District Level A grade last year. JWB enjoys a far-reaching partnership with the school district, working closely with their leadership team and with Superintendent Hendrick, who serves on our board.
When you think about JWB, one of the things I think about right away is mental health, supporting students in mental health. We really wanted to educate our children on what are the dangers of social media, what is happening when you spend too much time on the phone. And JWB walked alongside of us to develop a campaign, and it was a big partner in helping spread that message throughout the community. Grade Level Reading Campaign goes along in a long-standing tradition with JWB and to try to really make sure students read at grade level. And that starts in the earliest years with Turbo Babies to make sure students have that basic foundation of reading, bringing the book bus out to those in the community, individual programming that's happening with partners like Shirley Proctor Puller or others. We're proud to have the highest third grade reading scores we've had under the new state's accountability system. JWB has been a huge partner in making that happen and a big success of the literacy rates of our children.
We do it all for the love of kids.
From the time they are born, children count on their parents and other caring adults to love, nurture, and guide them. JWB and our partners are committed to making the health, safety, and well-being of our county's children the top priority. And our guiding principles are at the heart of the matter. We embrace collaboration, pursue innovation, and embody accountability, and value every child. It's all for the love of kids.
I've seen it before, but it still brings a tear to my eye. The heart of the matter, the reason that we all gathered here today and do the work that so many of you do, is that we're all dedicated to improving kids' lives. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Tanja Williams to join me. She and I are going to lead you through an interactive trivia game called Kahoot. You may have done this before. I see partners from all kinds of organizations here in Pinellas County. Most of you know something about JWB, maybe one piece of the work that we do, but you might not know some of the other things that we do. So we're hoping that besides being fun, that this may be a good way to learn a little bit more about children's issues in Pinellas County, as well as what JWB and its partners have been doing about it.
Well, I see some competitors. They're ready. I don't think I'm going to read, the directions, but they already got 50 people.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Beth, you know, I am an educator at heart, and I know a little about the importance. Should I read that, Beth? I don't know. I think they got it. So please take your phones out. We've already done that.
You guys are A students, so we'll just jump ahead.
Does anybody not know how to play Kahoots? All right. So, Beth, with your permission, I'm going to...
Go for it.
We'll wait until everyone gets their names in, see who's going to win the grand prize here.
So for anyone who hasn't done this before, on your phone, go to Kahoot.it. You're not going to... there won't be another app on your phone. There won't be anybody else with your credentials. It'll only happen here. If you have any trouble at all doing it, just raise your hand, and we've got lots of folks around who can help you.
Anyone having a rough time? Anyone need more direction? All right. Do we have everyone in? If you're still working on putting your name in, raise your hand so we'll know. Okay, we've got one.
And if you think you might be embarrassed by your answers, you can put in a fake name.
I would do the fake name.
I think go.
We're good.
Well, they're still coming.
For our technology team, are we ready to roll? All right. You guys ready? All right. So to start, we're just going to have a little fun question in the spirit of love. This won't count towards your score, but it'll give you a chance to really get acclimated on how to play. Approximately, how many Valentine cards are given out in the U.S. each year? Wait a minute. Would you say 55? Oh, wait a minute. We're waiting on this to come up. Okay.
Oh.
Approximately how many Valentine's Day cards are given out in the U.S. each year? 55 million, 115 million, 5 million, or 145 million? Make sure your vote counts. All right, we've got some answers. It's 145 million. 65 of you got that correct. Let's see who's at the top. Charlie. So if you did not get your sweetheart a Valentine's Day card, Publix still has them on sale. Make sure you're in the number. Okay, we're getting ready to start the real game. All right. We're ready? First question, this is real. How many children and families did JWB and our partners serve last year? That's the fiscal year of 2024. 7,000, 17,000, 37,000, or 77,000? Who got it right? 77,000. 90% of you got it right. Whoa, Christina and Needham. Is Needham like you need some ham? Or is, okay, just checking.
So in fiscal year 2024, we funded 98 programs operated by 51 nonprofits that served more than 77,000 kids and families. Our impact budget was more than $126 million. Our funded agencies and partners are absolutely the heartbeat of everything that we do. So let's dive in a little bit further and learn more about their work and the impact that it has on children's lives.
All right, our first category is early childhood development, which focuses on babies' first 1,000 days. Here's your first question. By age 3, what percentage of a baby's brain will be developed? 50%, 80%, 100%, or 20%? By age 3. Rod, we're not talking about your brain, but all right. Wow, the answer is 80% by age 3. Pretty amazing. All right, same category. Christina still with Christina. Did you write these questions? Who is Christina? Oh, cheating. All right. So let's go with the next question. Beth, I don't know, they're excited about this. How many new neural connections from every second in a baby's brain? 1,000 new connections, 1 million new connections, 10,000 new connections, or 100 new connections? What do you think? Neural connections from every second that forms every second in a baby's brain. Yeah, 1 million is the answer. 1 million. 1 million new connections every day. Isn't that amazing? During a baby's first 3 years, the brain grows more rapidly than at any other time in a person's life. So we're not firing off those neutrons right now for our age, I guess. This lays the foundation for a baby's healthy development, lifelong learning, and future success.
So it's so critical that JWB created a new focus area for early childhood development in this strategic plan that we're in the last year of. And we invested very specifically in programs to ensure that kids achieve those key milestones. And if not, that new parents have access to early screenings and intervention. So in 2023, JWB launched Turbo Babies, a new campaign that encourages early connections, nourishes and nurtures a baby's drive to learn, and supports parents and their caregivers as their child's first and best teachers. The campaign offers tips, activities, resources to ensure babies are on track from birth to age 3. So we took the very complex brain knowledge about brain development in babies and translated that into very easily doable kinds of activities for every parent, because what parent has any extra time to do one more thing? But there are things everybody with a baby can do: singing when you're changing a diaper, or cooing back and forth in the car, or those times and places you're with a baby anyway, that help those that helps the brain develop that much faster and that much better. And, oh, by the way, creates that warm connection and the position that you are a trusted person in that little kiddo's life.
You know, in its second year, Turbo Babies reached nearly 10,000 parents and other caregivers through education, pit crew brain building bags, and more. Beth, I absolutely can't wait to see these Turbo Babies becoming turbo adults and enrolling at SPC and PTC in the next 16 or 17 years. Our next category is school readiness. And our first question tests your knowledge of the Heckman equation, the work of the Nobel Prize winning economist James Heckman. True or false? The annual return on investment for quality early childhood education programs is 17 to 13%. True or false?
7 to 13.
I mean 7 to 13%. Thank you, Beth. True or false? The answer is it's true. Y'all got it wrong. According to James Heckman, did I say according to James Heckman? Every dollar invested in early learning yields a 7 to 13% return. Measurable outcomes include higher high school graduation and college enrollment rates and lower costs for social welfare and criminal justice. Where else could we invest with this rate of return?
JWB invests in an innovative model called the Quality Early Learning Initiative, or QELI. We have to have our acronyms. There are 5 early learning academies in Pinellas County that we fund, from Tarpon Springs down to South St. Petersburg, using evidence-based curriculum, degreed teachers, low child-teacher ratios, and strong parent engagement to build these young brains.
Beth, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you mind if I share one of JWB's investments that is especially close to my heart?
How can I say no?
Thank you. In Pinellas, there's a monumental need for early education and care for our kids 0 to 3. So I absolutely love that JWB funds early childhood education scholarships at St. Petersburg College. So let's take a look. Here's a question for you. How many early child care education degree scholarships have been awarded since the program's inception in 2018? 448, 124, 217, or 98? This was on the slide, on the PowerPoint presentation.
This is where we know whether you were paying attention or
you were
snoozing
scrolling
during
on
the
that
video.
phone. Ah, 448. Whoa, CWP is at the top.
Turtle.
Over the life of this program, which was established in 2018, 448 scholarships have been awarded. Last year alone, 72 were awarded. See, I love SPC and JWB and PTC. Moving on to our next category, school success. Did you know that 3rd grade reading proficiency is one of the most important predictors of high school graduation and career success? Here's your question. What % of Pinellas students read on or above grade level by 3rd grade? Is it 37, 62, 16, or 48? Superintendent Hendricks mentioned this, so y'all ought to know it. Ah, 62%. Woo! Oh, AMS just moved forward. Who is that? Is that you, Jesse? Okay, congrats. No other turtles in the house. All right, here's your next one. So true or false? JWB and our partners gave away nearly 5,000 books last year. True or false? This was also shared earlier. True or false? 5,000 books were given away. Oh, you missed it. It is false. JWB and Partners gave away nearly 16,000 books last year. Last summer alone, JWB's summer bus giveaway gave away more than 10,000 new books to kids across the county and who still love reading, to instill the love for reading.
So while Pinellas County's third grade reading proficiency is above the state's average, and the highest scores we've had under the new state accountability system, there's always more work to be done. And JWB and our partners launched the Early Readers, Future Leaders grade level reading campaign to pull together as many as possible of the organizations across the entire community who work in the literacy space, whether we fund them or not. That group has been focusing on areas that impact reading scores like school readiness, attendance, combating summer learning loss. And one of the ways we do this is through the book bus, which I think you see the picture there, and Chief Jim Milliken working with the kids. Nothing beats the joy of not just handing a book to a kid, but a kiddo being able to choose books that interest them. And we even had a book club going, and one of the times I was out there, two girls were saying, no, let's both get that book and then we'll read it together. So JWB also funds many out-of-school time programs, co-located in many Pinellas County elementary and middle schools, as well as at community sites. So JWB's School Success Program served over 34,000 students last year.
Wow. Well, we have one more question in this category. You ready? What % of out-of-school time participants surveyed felt a sense of belonging and connected to their program? Was it 87%, 62%, 74%, or 95%? I love hearing you guys talk. So cool. Y'all are guessing, stressing. The answer is 95%. All right. Oh, Big H. Big H and AMS are going at it. 95%. That is simply remarkable and encouraging. We know that feeling a sense of connection is so important to us all, but especially to our youth and their mental health. Speaking of mental health, true or false? Approximately 25% of all chronic mental illness begins by age 14. Approximately 25% of all mental health disorders begin by age 14. The answer is false. It is actually 50% of mental health disorders begin at the age 14. Turtle is at, and he has a turtle in there. I think that's what that green is. Sadly, most of these disorders go untreated.
So the 2024 Children's Summit last year, same place, focused on the power of connections to impact youth mental health. And did you know that 25% of teens have considered suicide?
Yep.
That's an amazing and an alarming statistic. In response, JWB and our many partners launched the Children's Mental Health Initiative to integrate behavioral health clinicians into pediatric offices. And this made it possible for nearly 17,000 children who might never have walked into a community mental health location or found other assistance to receive screenings right there as part of their pediatric visit, last year, making that early detection and intervention possible. Okay, I think we're halfway through, so let's explore how we help struggling families to meet basic needs.
You know, when I think about mental health in our children, their living conditions play a big role in the experience at home. So let's talk about housing. True or false? Housing costs more in Pinellas County than much of the rest of Florida. Now, if y'all get this wrong, the answer is true. Median housing costs are substantially higher in Pinellas County compared to much of the rest of our state, and that causes stress for many families. Do you know the term ALICE? If not, it stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed, and describes families earning more than the federal poverty level but not enough to afford the basics. According to the most recent data from United Way Suncoast, what percentage of households in Pinellas County are considered ALICE? Do you think it's 16%, 33%, 86%, or 6%? This one's tricky. You still have time to weigh in. A few seconds. The answer is 33%. And I bet you Beth is going to tell us why this is an important number.
Well, remember that this 33% are households that are deemed ALICE, but these are families that live above the poverty level, but lower than the ALICE level. So when you add that 13% of families living in poverty, you end up with 46%, or let's just call it about half.
Yep.
So that means half of all families in Pinellas County are struggling. That means half of all families in Pinellas County can't move forward very well if a child is sick for a few days and one of the parents has to lose work and doesn't have sick pay that covers that. It means if the car breaks down, they're in a world of hurt. Any one of those things that if you have a little bit of money stashed away, you can handle. If you're on the edge every month trying to decide whether to pay the utility bill first or the rent bill first, then any one of these things can knock you right out. So JWB looked at that group of families who generally are sustainable, generally are working, are moving forward, but one event can throw them back and eventually can lead them back into homelessness where it's a really steep climb back out. So we started the Family Services Initiative, or FSI, well over 10 years ago, and it was to help just those families who were meeting those, I say unusual, they happen all the time, but those kinds of stressors. So the Family Service Initiative offers real-time help to meet basic needs like food, transportation, rent, or utility assistance, and does it relatively quickly with more paperwork than they would like, but a whole lot less than federal government programs, for instance. So in 2024, we invested an additional $1.4 million to provide the type of family-centered support, and JWB and our partners also work hard to prevent needless childhood deaths.
Thank you, Beth. And you know, before we leave the ALICE numbers, even at SPC, we have those emergency funds when our adult learners are trying to figure out, do I feed my family or feed my mind? I need to go to school to get the education, to get more money to feed my family, but right now we're starving. And so I know that the technical schools and others do, but we have food pantries and things to support the parents who are trying to support the children through all of this tragedy and these challenges. And we realize that we're all one incident away from a different life. And so we need to keep that in mind. So when we think about childhood deaths, does anyone here know the #1 cause of preventing death for children under the age of 6? And this holds true for Pinellas County, the state of Florida, and the U.S., by the way. Is it drowning, shaken baby syndrome, hot cars, or suffocation due to unsafe sleep? #1, childhood death. It's a tough one. The answer is sadly suffocation due to unsafe sleep. Did you know that the 3 leading causes of preventable death for children under the age of 6 are suffocation due to unsafe sleep, then drowning, and abusive head trauma? You can bet JWB knows and is responding.
In 2018, when JWB launched its Sleep Baby Safely campaign, a healthy baby died almost every month in Pinellas County from suffocation as they slept. Each year, now, 7,500 parents at Pinellas delivery hospitals receive a welcome baby bag with educational and practical items to promote safe sleep practices. And this is my personal favorite, which says, "This side up." And you'll notice that there are not other blankets or cuddlies or bumper pads in there, any one of which a baby can suffocate if pushed up next to it, or on their tummies. They can get themselves into a position where they suffocate. So the solutions are easy, but need to be done every time. And so, as opposed to a lot of pamphlets, who reads pamphlets anymore? We provide things like this, a door hanger, maybe for the nursery door, and other materials that are fun and can be used that send that same message, that babies need to be, alone, on their back, in a crib. And by the way, if they don't have a crib or a separate space to sleep, there are numerous partners in our community who will provide a pack and play. Many of the first responders, if they go into a home and for different reasons, but they see a baby and they don't see a bed for that baby, will get a pack and play to that family immediately. There's been some careful thought across a lot of different partners on how can we make this change and this changed behavior a reality. But that's not all that JWB and our partners do to prevent needless childhood deaths. For instance, did you know that drowning is the top cause of death for children ages 1 to 4?
Wow, Beth, that is so sad. Can we talk about this a little bit? Here's the question. How long does it take for a child to drown? Does drowning happen in 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 45 seconds, or 20 seconds? This is age 1 to 4. The answer is 20 seconds. Drowning is silent and can happen in just 20 seconds in as little as an inch of water. It is important to understand the risks and establish safety practices to help keep your family safe in and around water. So who's on top now? Ooh.
It's going to look like a fix, Jesse.
I'm trying to tell you. Wow. So to combat this, how many kids receive free swim lessons and water safety skills from JWB-funded programs last year? 1,000, 1,500, 2,500, or 3,000 kids? This was in our presentation earlier. $1,000, 1,500, 2,500, or 3,000. Beth, they're having a good time.
They are having a good time.
Yeah. Two, one, boom, 3,000. More than 3,000 children receive free swim lessons in water safety as part of JWB's Preventable Child Death Initiative. Shout out to all of the JWB's water safety partners in the room.
And I want to make sure we shout out to those who don't happen to be JWB partners, but are also in this space teaching kids how to swim. It takes the whole community, and we appreciate that. Investments in food and collective work to fight childhood hunger are part of our Strengthening Communities strategic area. Because Pinellas children face hunger every day, 1 in 8 are food insecure, meaning that they can't always count on having the next meal or having enough food to live an active and healthy life. So let's dig into that just a little bit.
Will do, Beth. So this one is true or false. Approximately 19,000 kids in Pinellas County are food insecure. The answer is true. JWB is definitely on the case and making it happen to help those children eat. So here's your next one. JWB, oh, who was at the top?
Turtle.
Cheater. JWB provided how many millions of free meals to kids last year? Was it 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, or 6 million? I just heard someone say the answer too, out loud. The answer is 6 million meals. JWB's Childhood Hunger Collaborative. Oh! Somebody's excited.
Jesse, they're booing you. They're cheering for somebody else.
1912 and AMS is on the prowl. Oh, well. All right, here we go. Beth?
All right, well, more than more than half of our county's children qualify for free or reduced lunch. So hunger becomes an even bigger issue for them when school is out, for weekends, for holidays, for summer. So JWB invests in bulk food purchases and distribution from a centralized hub, which is the St. Pete Free Clinic, to dozens of partners countywide. And we also fund the neighborhood family centers, 7 of them across the county, so that they can also provide food. So thanks to our partners, more than 20 million pounds of food was distributed last year, serving 1.2 million people. In recent years, I love this picture. It just reminds me of my brothers. That was pretty much the way they did. In recent years, JWB has sort of doubled down on its focus on 2 particular populations, on grand families and on fathers.
Yeah, grand families, I believe that that is a growing population, that more and more grandparents are now taking care of their grandchildren. So here's your question. How many Pinellas grandparents are raising their grandchildren? Ah, see, y'all weren't listening when that came up. Okay. Do you think it's 1,250, 6,000, 7,500, or 2,750? $19.12, you better get it right. AWS or Jesse is on the prowl. $6,000. According to the most recent census data, nearly 6,000 Pinellas grandparents have sole responsibility for their grandchild or grandchildren. Oh, same thing, okay. You got it right, Jesse, but you know, it's not all the way.
Got to be faster.
Got to be faster. True or false? 15% of grandchildren under the age of 18 residing with grandparents were living in poverty. %15 of grandchildren. The answer is false. Sadly, it's false because that number is actually higher. 22% of grandchildren under the age 18 living with their grandparents live in poverty.
Oh.
Look. Woo. I see hope coming up.
No competitiveness or anything, right?
We're almost done. Hang in there with us. Almost there.
So let's talk about grand families for just a minute. As a grandparent who is raising 2 of our 5 grandsons, I can speak to the unique joys and challenges that this presents. And while I'm very fortunate to have access to resources, a partner in this work of raising these 2 guys, I know many struggle to know where to turn. The resources they're used to knowing don't necessarily meet the needs of families and kids, or the way things worked in school when they were raising their kids aren't the same as the way things work in school and how you communicate and which app does what. So there are a lot of challenges, big and small. JWB's citizen-led community councils serve as a bridge for us at JWB with the communities that we serve, and they were the driving force behind a trio of Grand Families events across the county last year. We had one in North County, one in Mid, and one in South County. And these inaugural Grand Families events help connect grandparents to each other to other relative caregivers, to resources, and to build connections to improve their quality of life and strengthen their unique families. And by the way, I think they just had a really good time. So now let's talk a little bit about dads.
Let's. So here's your question. How many U.S. children live without a father in the home? 32 million, 4 million, 17 million, or 11 million? This is the entire United States. We got one more after this. Oh, this is the last question. This is the last question. Woo, 17 million. According to the most recent census data, 17 million children in America live without their father in the home. That's about 25% of all U.S. children.
So one thing that's really important to know is whether the father is in the home or not, they're vitally important to their kids and their kids' development. And part of that equation for raising healthy, happy children. So healthy relationships between fathers and children absolutely benefit those children. And so that means many others in the family need to work at accepting that father to be part of the family unit in whatever way makes sense. JWB and our partners are committed to promoting father-inclusive community resources, not always assuming that it's mom calling to, for whatever reason, that sometimes it's dad who's talking to the school about whatever's going on with that kiddo. And that our resources are father-friendly, that every bag that goes out for, an infant isn't pink with flowers on it, but it might be a nice sort of heather gray or something that that dad might actually use. And so we're working in a variety of ways to strengthen the role of dads in the upbringing of their children. So last year, JWB added a staff member dedicated solely to growing the number of Pinellas Fatherhood Collaborative partners who support dads in their caregiver roles wherever they are.
Hey, Beth, can we see who won? Can we see the...
I don't think anybody really cares.
I want to see. But...
Well, let's do one more. Let's just keep the suspense. We're going to do one more thing. What I'd like you to do is to type in one word that describes how you feel after doing this exercise together with us.
They want participation points. Ooh, I can't wait to see the big red one. Yes.
Informed. Educated, inspired, happy, humbled, thankful, knowledgeable.
Educated. Motivated.
Educated. Tanja is just loving this.
I'm
that
enjoying
they're
it.
informed and educated are
Yeah,
the two big words
I
up there.
love
So
that.
that is awesome. Okay, with that, we're done with the game, but we want to congratulate our top 3 contenders. And who has
1912.
So if each of you would come up on the stage,
Come on up on the stage.
we're going to embarrass you just a little bit.
Come on up. So proud of you. So proud.
As you can tell, we have some goodies for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's the star.
Congratulations.
So I would like to thank Beth for all the information over all the years that I have known you. This is why I have been the success at this game.
Which I think means I don't do small talk very well, but I just talk to him about kids anytime he's around. So, but that's okay. So they got some goodies. I think there is a, I hope, appropriately embarrassing medal that they can put on. So it's fun to celebrate them. Well, it certainly sounds like to me that you all had a good time. And if you didn't lie on the word you put in, you learned a lot, which is what we had hoped. So I want to thank, let me get some water here. I want to thank Dr. Williams for joining me. She's all the way back now. On stage today. Isn't she the best? We wanted to have some fun, but we wanted to share the work and the impact that your JWB and our partners do, which is very serious. We hope you walk away understanding some of the obstacles and the stressors that our families face, but also the great opportunities they have for a positive trajectory from birth. And so many of you make that a possibility and a reality. Remember, this is your JWB, so the work we and our partners do should fill your hearts. After all, Pinellas taxpayers have entrusted us with funds from ad valorem taxes to support and improve the lives of children every day. We often say, and Tanja said part of this before, that kids are 16% of our population, but they are 100% of our future. 2024 has been a busy year, made successful by the support of all of you, our partners. There's still so much more we're planning and preparing to do, all for the love of kids. So from the time they're born, children count on their parents and other caring adults to love, nurture, and guide them. What better day than today, Valentine's Day, to remind ourselves how important it is to invest in the lives of children and to do so with respect and with love. Because they truly are our future in every imaginable way. And so we thank each of you for joining us for today's Children's Summit. I also want to point out that, I think every day has like three things. It's the zippity-doo-dah day, it's the this day, it's the that day. Well, today, among other things probably, is Give a Book Day, which you gotta love. Which explains the stack of books that are on your tables and our grade level reading resource table that's out in the atrium. So our ask of you as you leave today is very simple. Take one of those books with you today and give it to your child, your grandchild, a niece, a nephew, a child on the block, or children in your programs. If you need a bag or a box, see JWB staff at the grade level reading table in the atrium. Better yet, read that book to a child, no matter how old they might be. Day one is not too early. You'll be instilling a love of reading and helping build lifelong learning and deepening your relationship with that child. So read to a child, become a mentor, volunteer on a nonprofit board, or join JWB throughout the year on our summer book bus, mobile food pantries, and more. And give love. Connections and kindness matter, and knowledge is power. Spread the love by sharing something you've learned today, or connect with us to learn even more. We invite you to visit our website and to follow us on social media under JWB Pinellas. So we have our last slide, almost last slide, that just says, thank you very much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the work that you do. The heart of the matter is that children thrive when they are loved, cared for, nurtured, taught, and inspired. And families strive when they are supported, guided, and connected to the resources that they need. Every day that you, your staff, your organization spread that love to kids and to families is a day that changes individual lives and strengthens our community as a whole. Sometimes you see it right in front of your eyes, but sometimes it may not be known for years, but it's real. JWB can't possibly do everything. We know that collaboration is the key, so we gather and we convene and we build partnerships and relationships. We advocate and we innovate, and we evaluate data and invest strategically. And we do it all for the same reason that you do, for the love of kids. Thanks.
I know your eyes